Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Friday, October 10th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with the weekly chart, give a big picture outlook, and that is to say that any downside retracements over the next few weeks into the lower 170s, and we're not expecting it, but if so, should be considered a buy opportunity not only through November, but really through the rest of the year, and above which this 219.64 full swing count remains in play, remains a 2 to 3 month target above 170.11. That is basically subtracting the April low from the January high and then adding it back to the January high. That sort of balances things out. Market can get exhausted at 219.64, at least on a near to midterm basis. Remains in reach over the next 2 to 3 months above 170.11. Now, on the daily chart, we have another channel structure that precedes it at 181.18, and I actually can put both of them on the same chart here on the daily chart. 181.18, if tested over the next week or two, can contain weekly selling pressures, even through October, and from here we can round up. So there are these levels, kind of stair-step levels on the way down that can be aggressively bought on weakness in anticipation of upward rotation to new highs, and that is 181.18 is a pretty good example of that. But I don't expect to see that anytime soon, especially with what's played out over the last few days. A week and a half ago, we closed above the series of highs at 184.48. We'd mentioned this as a decent area for day trading and 3 to 5 day swing trading. We retested this area earlier in the week, Monday, Tuesday, and then we've got Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday, Thursday rally out of that zone. Now, I've had 192.28 that I can show you right here. This is a 1 3/8 swing off of this recent highs. We pushed through that quite easily. Yes, we closed just above it, but in terms of a local pivot point, I would rather go a little lower at 191.05. I think yesterday's low was 191.06, and so that is the high that was put out about a week and a half ago. I think this is our pivot point for the day, above which we can test 197.09 up to 199.11 today. 197.09 is a 1 5/8 from this high from the middle of August to the early September low. The distance between that, you add 5/8 to it, and you add it then to, or you take the 5/8 of that distance and you add it to 184.48. They're just numeric Fibonacci levels that can work. I mean, what's happening, of course, is that we're kind of in uncharted territory, and there aren't as many line studies as I would like, so we kind of fall back into these swing counts that can work pretty well. But when you get into these kind of these short-term Fibonaccis, it becomes a little sketchy. I still use them, but I fall back on this area here, 191.05. So bottom line, holding above 191.05, I see no compelling reason to be short NVIDIA for the next day or two, because I do think over the next day or two, we push on into the 197.09 to 199.11 area. 199.11 is like a 2-week rising channel top. And under other circumstances, I might consider this a 3-star weekly containment, but I'm keeping it session containment only because of the overall bullish dynamic that continues to exist above 170.11 on the weekly chart, above 181.18 on the daily chart, 181.18. Are we going to test that anytime soon? And I don't expect it. I'm looking for the right image here. Yeah, this is it right here. So if we fall back and close today below 191.05, we've got what I would call a 1 to 3 day signal back to 184.48. And over the next 3 days, this 181.18 channel bottom begins to converge with 184.48. So just kind of giving you the heads up that if we close today, Friday, below 191.05, I would call this kind of a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday testing of this narrowing zone between 181.18 and 184.48. And as they converge together, they both become 3-star support levels that can absorb selling through the following week. And yes, even in a November trade, this is a solid zone to buy into. If you're a 3 to 5 week swing trader, we can round up to new highs from here and continue onward and upward. Only if we close below 181.18 do I then anticipate within a week or two 170.19, where we can bottom out on that weekly chart 170.11 through the rest of the year and round up to new highs, round up to 219.64 over the next 2 to 3 months. Remains a 2 to 3 month target above 170.11, and over the next couple of months above 181.18, etc., etc.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
Let's continue with the upside. I don't expect this today, but if we were to close above 199.11, you can see your 219 is right up here. 219.64 is once again our 2 to 3 month target. And so if we do close above 199.11, within 1 to 3 days, 204.89 is likely. That is the full swing, by the way, from the August high against the September low. This will be a 3-star resistance area, and it does it will be converged upon by this rising channel top. So I don't want to confuse too much here. I'm just saying that this 199.11 2-week channel top does continue to move north through time. It will converge upon this 204.89, a full swing. So, the way I see it, we can expect 204.89 over the next couple of weeks, provided we don't fall away too significantly. We can fall away all the way back to 181.18 and still round up into this 204 region within 2 or 3 weeks. But I don't expect that. I think what is likelier to happen is that over the next few days we close above 199.11 and we test 204.89. We can top out there on a weekly basis. We'll be covering this day to day. This all is finessed, if you will, on a day-to-day basis. So what I'm trying to describe right now is just much easier to understand if you just keep tuning in every day. And so, yes, 204.89 is an important point. This will be our upward continuation point into November. I do think it is likely to be tested over the next week or two. If we close today above 199.11, over the next day or two, where we can top out on a weekly basis and even fall away. And if we close above 204.89, our 2 to 3 month objective that we have at 219.64 is likely to be realized within 3 to 5 weeks. Possibly 2 to 3 weeks of closing above 204.89. So let me finish with kind of the 2 to 3 week swing trade, okay? Now, you could be long already as a 2 to 3 week swing trader for a number of reasons, but I would say that if you're buying weakness on a 2 to 3 week swing trade basis, you are bottom picking 181.18. This is the solid level to buy into on a 2 to 3 week basis, because from here we can round up to that 204.69 level, 204.89 level within 2 to 3 weeks of testing 181.18. Inversely, if you're long right now and waiting for a good place to sell it as a 2 to 3 week swing trader, it really is 204.89, which will by the end of next week be considered part of a range that begins at 199.11 that I was struggling to articulate just a couple moments ago. So you're either selling 204.89 on strength, or you're buying the 181.18 area on weakness, 2 to 3 week swing traders. If you want to go long on strength, it is a settlement then above that 204.69, 204.89 area. That is your signal on strength to go long for another 2 to 3 weeks into the 219.64 area. I hope this all makes sense. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. I will be back Sunday with Monday's NVIDIA, and you have a great weekend.